Hey everyone, welcome back to my Let's Play of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. When we last left off, I believe we were... Oh right, we met Natsume's flatmate, someone who also lives in the same lodgings as him, who's that really crazy looking guy. I don't even really know what was going on. He was like quoting Shakespeare or something. And we also talked to, I think, Herlock a little bit. And we came back here to talk to Natsume. We seemed, I think, still hesitant about accepting the case. And then Herlock showed up. So we're going to see maybe if Herlock helps us out some more, I guess, with the investigation, or maybe he'll even come to court with us. I'm not sure yet. That'd be pretty cool to have him there alongside Susato, actually. But I feel like he would just cause a lot of trouble in court, so maybe that's not for the best. I want to say thank you guys so much for your takes for the series. Sorry it's been a couple days since I've uploaded for this. Actually, I think it's been a week. I've just been really addicted to Shin Megami Tensei 5. And I've been taking some breaks because I've been really tired as of late since I got my wisdom teeth out, which you know if you watched any of my other vids. So if I sound a little weird at all, I'm still recovering, so hopefully it doesn't sound too out of the normal. But yeah, so I think we're going to talk to him. Let's see. Oh, right. He said, he calls him Mr. Mustache. Natsume says that his lodgings are cursed, and Sholmes agrees. And so I think we're going to ask about that. So, cursed trial or cursed lodgings? Cursed trial? Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitated him. You don't mean the child really is cursed somehow? Bro, I don't know what's going on. Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no! What do you mean? Please, tell me! Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words! No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Yeah, he literally died, the last defendant, so you won't survive, literally and figuratively. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, he got burned. The defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. Begeldon, rest in peace, that evil man. Whoa, what? His voice has just turned into me being a crazy voice. I'm impressed, Miss Susato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. Weren't you thinking that too? Wait, wasn't that what you just brought that up for? Ah, ha ha ha! You have some wonderful notions! Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Ah, of course he is, then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Oh god. The Reaper. Seasons don't fear the Reaper. That's such a good song. I love it. Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man, however, in London courts of law. Exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, that's good! Soseki-san looks like he's gonna cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. Ah, yes, that collection of buffoons. No offense to them. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. I'm curious to see if it's gonna be the same people. I don't think it is, because it's different jury for every trial, right? Like, that's what we do in real life. My boyfriend just got called to, jury duty, actually, which is, good timing. I can ask him. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, as from time to time, my dear madam, it is simply the reality of the situation. And that's all right. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my! Though the education may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortunes, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay. I knew it. Dead, Dodo, done for, doomed! Dodos are extinct, man. I don't... Cursed lodgings, okay. When you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garrideb's house, I assume? Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? I mean, they're crazy, but I don't know if it's cursed. It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. I mean, it has no windows. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late. So I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it. If not, don't mention it in the first place." Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean, the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. Maybe it's the cat sleeping on your face, I don't... And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really? No one at all? To believe? Yes, to believe. Believe! What's the Gurren Lagann or whatever? It's like to believe in the me that believes in you or something? I don't. My brother says that quote a lot. Mr. Sholmes? Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo. Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. The Buria. Ah, that case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. At that time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. I was hyped on drugs at the time, I don't recall. No, what I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes. You mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. No, because we're bros at heart. He would never suspect me. I think perhaps you may have understood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. Circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. Ah, ha, ha, ha. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning? Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, yes, he's right. He's right, locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yeah, you just want me to believe in you, man. Whether or not I can believe myself? GG's, man, I can't. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. Oh, good, Kazuma. You were so right, Kazuma. Do you believe in love? Okay. No copyright, please. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? He's like, I would love some trout. Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? So, Seki man, I got you. Come on. Oh, there we go. Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Oh god, oh no. Hi, local student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a bridge courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in? The defendant, justice, or the truth? How to believe, even? But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo? And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You are a real bro. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Yeah, let's just forget about those two and their shady business, okay? Miss Susato? Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Ah, me and you, Susato, ride or die. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Cosmo believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him, to fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. Turn the beat up. That's what Phoenix would be like. It's time to turn about this or turn around this case. To be continued. Let's go. I wonder who did it. It's probably gonna be one of the witnesses. Save the progress. Trial part 1, question mark? Yeah, let's go. I'm very excited. Let's go save our boy. 20th of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey defendant's antechamber. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Good morning! Who would it be? Oh, good morning! Huh! Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now, I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Yo, his eyes are actually bloodshot. I didn't look at them, they look kind of pink. Do all literary people take things so literally? Calm yourself down. Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. Regret. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Really? Because I could feel tremors at the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, welcome student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was just such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it? Maybe it's because it's like a foreign person, like being convicted? Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Miss Susato? Wait, did we have that many people last time? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? He randomly came out of retirement to beat my ass. The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus Begeldon. Oh, what a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers. Mundane! Mundane! It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us. Oh dear, I mean no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. A stabbing, right? Yes, I agree. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you! Oh, and also me, I guess. Me? Well, I suppose that's true. Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. The Death Eaters, I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? I cannot do it if you want no one. By the least lucky lawyer alive. Thanks. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yeah, because you got no one. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with little in the way of experience or skills, or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side. Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikatoba Esquiress! What is this? I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live. Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright. Alright then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go. Yeah. Yes! Or yes? I don't know how he was saying that. This is it. The final... Oh, my second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. I've got the passion for lawyerness. Trials. Law. That's what I meant to say for law. 20th of February, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. It's the same jury? Really? Santa Claus. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Oh god, the prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. Sup, Van Zeeks? The Nepalese are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Yeah, but I still beat your ass. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nepalese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Suzato-san, damn, you tell him, girl. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Yeah, I don't think any of us believe that, though. Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. I can't talk. Trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. I killed him in that car. Here's to the acquitted in his unfortunate, violent end. Gasp! Are you an arsonist, man? Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. Oh, well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh, that hurts. I thought that was Hat Boy. Oh, well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say I think it's quite possible that Moustache Florida did the deed. Is she allowed to be here? I mean, she knows the defendant. Oh, come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. He looks like a Pokemon trainer. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Okay, him and Santa sound too similar. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zeeks. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Stabbing a lady! Whoa! Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime, I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are. Wait, he was on the roof, right? He was one of the people we were talking to? Just look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Oh, did I do the voice right? I don't know. Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Didn't quite catch that. Oh my god. Please don't all do the black flame right now. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollow chalice here in this great chamber. That didn't stop you before. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Yo, Gregson, what's up, bro? Yeah, there it is, just like Gumshoe. Your name and occupation, please. God, what the hell was his voice? Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be. Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose. I see. But her life is not in danger. I mean, being in a coma isn't good. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Why is that sentence so weird? Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. God, I can't remember his voice. He's like a gruff British dude. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. There we go. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. I can't talk. Oh my god. It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Miss Green and the library with the lamppost. Ah, shanked. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed her in the back. Okay. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence if you please. Case file. A file containing an overview of the case and details about the victim. She was found with a knife in her back and is currently in hospital yet to regain consciousness. Okay. I want to go take a peekity-peek at that real quick. Details, young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Victim, Olive Green, female, stout build, early 20s. Location, pavement of Briar Road. Reporting officers, Holy Beat. Roly Beats. Roly Beats. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Huh. So I wonder who the witnesses were then. Was it the officer? I think they said there were two of them though, right? Olive. Okay. I don't think we know that name yet. What is the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. It's a pocket knife? With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scraggly-looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
Huh. A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
The jackknife, a large but commonplace folding knife. It was found lodged in the victim's back.
Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
Yeah, what's the motive here? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim?
I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
Yeah. If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Up, here it comes. Did you ever think that maybe he's just a... It's just a complete... He is flinging... Oh my god. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. You just hear someone in the background be like, oh my god! But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nepalese student.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I can't frickin'. Poor Gregson. Between Gregson and Natsume, the voices are just gone. Mr. Natsume's arrest. Okay, this ought to be good. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Okay. But that's not motive.
Old books, you say?
Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
Ah, yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring.
Huh.
I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
Photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident occurred. A large knife can be seen thrust into the victim's back. Okay. You Nepalese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Forgive me, Lord Van Seeks, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Miss Susato?
Do go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now that you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened.
As I was walking along that cursed pavement, I could make out the silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was. Oh, she was. Just as I went to overtake her. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
Huh.
Huh, a green overcoat?
Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
Damn.
There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes. Yeah, but like, there's no witnesses, and it was foggy. How do we know?
Oh, it seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Time for a turnabout. Ace Attorney style cross-examination. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to save and call this an episode here before this gets too long, because I realized we're at about 36 minutes. But hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm excited to see what the heck happened. I highly doubt it was Natsume. If it was, this whole game is just going to be us with our defendants actually being guilty in the end, which didn't used to happen in Phoenix Wright games, but here we are. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, feel free to leave a like, comment, favorite, or subscribe, whatever you guys are feeling. And until the next time, lights off, dark out.